Well, hey there, I'm Dr. Tom Ulrich, and I like to talk about leadership in engineering. Hey, this is the second in the series of videos on engineering culture. And thanks again. Shout out to my new friend Eduardo, who said, hey, why don't you do a video on engineering culture? And my answer is not only will I do one, I'll do a whole set. So thanks to you, Eduardo. Hey, so in the last video, I talked about culture is an iceberg. Now, in this video, what I'm going to do is trying to say, okay, but what is culture? Okay, and admittedly, I have covered that in some other videos, but I'm going to try to pare it down and make this more of a vignette size. You know, the other ones are like these 30-minute monsters, and this one's going to be short. All right, so Edgar Schein, he's the man. He's the guy who defined pretty much all the seminal work, and this is how he defines organizational culture. So it's the pattern of basic working assumptions. So remember from the last video, basic working assumptions, that's what the group actually believes. So culture is a pattern of what they actually believe. It's a pattern that the group learns. So culture is learned by a group. So that's one reason why is every engineering organization different? Because they're in a different context and learning differently. So it's a pattern of basic working assumptions that a group learns. Well, how do they learn it? Well, they're trying to solve two things. Now, the words Schein uses is as they solve their problems of external adaptation and internal integration. So what's that mean? Internal integration. The group comes together, they don't know each other. What they've got to figure out is how are we going to work together? How is this group going to work? That's called internal integration. New people come together, they start to figure these things out, and they realize, these people, and every set of people is a little bit different, and so how you kind of interact and what the rules of civility and all these things that's learned. The second thing is external adaptation, and that's kind of a layered thing. Okay, so here we are when we're an engineering group, and we find ourselves, we're a new engineering group, and we find ourselves in a larger organization. So as an example of this. About a year ago at Tandem, I founded a new group called the Scientific Computing Group. We kind of had we have a charter to, do hardcore analysis to support our pumps and whatnot. And what I did is I went out and I hired all new people. So all people who had just graduated, one guy just finished his PhD, another one's well into her master's, and a couple others who just finished their undergraduate degree. And the point is that it's a new group. We didn't know each other. We came together. And not only did we have to figure out how do we work together, but we had to figure out what's our place at Tandem. Given the expectations, why did Tandem want to start this group? The people we work with, we had to figure out how to adapt to our external conditions, which is the larger company and the business needs and all these sort of things. All right, so the next part of that then is it's the patterns that of basic working assumptions that a group learns as they solve their problems of external adaptation and internal integration, and that worked well enough to be considered valid. So a key idea here is it's not like there's only one solution to the problem. I mean, it's, in this example of the Scientific Computing Group, we are very acutely aware of the fact that, as we're solving equations numerically and whatnot, is there's not usually just one solution. There's all these different ways you can do it. And what the group will do is it will latch onto one and it will learn that. So they work well enough to be considered valid as the proper way to get this. Think, feel, and perceive. So we like to tell ourselves as engineers is, I'm logical. I just do, I think about it and, okay, that's really not how humans work. Humans work in groups. Human works in cultures. And, there's different ways you can think about things. I mean, you can kind of think about a problem like this and think about a problem like that. And it turns out your group dictates to a large degree how you think about the sort of things the group is working on. So, you may be thinking, well, the right way to design this car is with an internal combustion engine, and that's part of the group's thinking. But others, the right way to do its fuel cell, the right way to do its battery. There's sort of this consensus thinking that takes over. The other interesting thing is it's the the learning, the basic working assumptions determine how you should feel in regard to those problems. And here's the really frightening one, is how you should perceive. So, basic working assumptions not only dictate how you think and how you feel, they also dictate how you perceive. And so if you've got this assumption, things will tend to, sort of reinforce whatever it is you believe. And the final thing is that that these basic working assumptions work well enough to be valid, and here it is, worthy to be taught to new members regarding how to think, feel, and perceive in regard to those external adaptation, internal integration problems. So what happens is you have this pattern of basic learning, working assumptions. The group learns them. It teaches it to the new group, and so now it's kind of goes in perpetuity. And that's part of the reason that it's very, very difficult to change culture in an organization, is because part of the process that goes on is, the pass this on to the new guy, is part of the deal. Any rate, so hopefully that helps a little bit on, and when we say engineering culture, what exactly are we referring to? And the bottom line is we're referring to the basic working assumptions. Hey, I'm Dr. Tom Ulrich. I'm the engineering leadership guy. You can find more videos at tomulrichconsulting.com. If you go to YouTube, you can search on Dr. Tom Ulrich. And if you don't mind, give me a little like, give me a little subscribe, maybe leave a comment or two. And at any rate, more videos on this topic coming soon. Thanks for watching.